Hello, I'm happy to be back to be able to talk to all of you. I haven't been in front of the cameras for a while because Han has been helping us do the game videos. He's been doing the product reviews of all the games that we've been introducing as a special category on Oikos. And it's been well timed that he could come in and help us out as he has been doing during the season when we were really otherwise occupied with very many other things that I want to tell you about. So I've got a lot to catch up with you today, but as you know, tea is important. So let me just pause for a moment and pour a cup of tea. Our son James is there behind the camera, so I've got a cup here for him. So I'm going to pour him a cup of tea, and I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea and share some tea with you while I get you all caught up with the news that I've got to tell you. There's a whole lot of bits and pieces of things going on, things that have been happening. So I would like to just share that with you. But we always start with tea, so let's do that first. Oops, I spilled there, do you see that? It's not a nice teapot. Right. It's nice to pause to pour a cup of tea and have some tea with you and share with you what's been going on here. You might have noticed that those people who have been following Oikos and Facebook and the videos that we upload, that we have been mostly putting that board game show videos on, meaning that we started a separate channel for the board games specifically. We started that in November, just before the Christmas season, because we really wanted to encourage families to get together around the table and play board games. It was also well timed, as I've mentioned, because December, January, February is a time that we really like to focus on helping families get going with their year and get started with all the resources that they need. So it's not easy for me to find the space and the time to sit before the camera and sit and have a cup of tea and chat with you. But it's a little overdue now because it's a while since I've been here to sit and talk to you. So here I am with our cup of tea, and let me get you all caught up with what's been going on here at Oikos. I'm sitting here on our veranda, and I'm just actually enjoying the little birdie that's chirping in the background, and I hope it's coming through on the video. I wanted just to explain to you and share with you why we have introduced the game section on the Oikos website. And as I mentioned, it really came at a good time for us to be able to have the help of Han doing the videos for us for the board games, while I was helping with the things at Oikos Base and Oikos Publishing House to keep things going, and so that we made sure we had stock of the resources we needed for you. So as people were ordering their resources for the year, we were able to keep delivering and supplying and serving you in that way. And in the meantime, while that was happening, Jamie, our son, who does all the filming, was busy filming Han in the studio, and while he was sharing the different videos with you, the different games, on video. So we really do hope that you have enjoyed watching the videos of the board games. And I hope even more that you have been actually getting some of those games, because as a family ourselves, we have found them to be of tremendous value to the family and relationships and learning. So while that's been happening, and Han and Jamie have been making board game videos, what we've been doing in Oikos is we've been getting order because we realized things were slowly developing and growing and the needs were changing, and there was quite a lot of adjustments taking place, and so that took our attention basically, and we didn't want you to feel the effects of all the changes that were taking place. So we were just trying our very best all the time to keep on track with being able to continue to deliver and serve and help you in every way that we could while all these changes were taking place. So you might be asking, what changes? What changes am I talking about? Well, the changes are all, we hope, for the good, for you especially, because that's what Oikos is all about, is about serving the families and helping you on this journey of this walk of home education. And we're hoping that we're always going to be available to help you in serving you in that capacity, as far as giving you not just the resources you need, but doing supportive videos and whatever else it is that we can do to keep helping you as you walk this walk of teaching your children at home. And so things keep changing and developing. I mean, we know this is just the developing world, and things change at such a pace. And so what has happened is we've had to try and keep up with that pace. And sometimes we're a bit reluctant to, because we think, oh, we don't really want to change to that degree. But then we realize, well, we have to be able to have a website, because we were very reluctant in the early days to have a website. But now we must have a website, because obviously, I mean, I don't even have to explain why it's necessary for us to have a website. And we have discovered with these videos, actually, that we can help and support and talk to people all over the world, not just the people that we can reach face to face. That's always first prize for me, is to actually be able to meet people face to face and sit and talk to them. But I am just so thrilled that these videos have enabled us to be able to share with anybody anywhere in the world. And especially what's very close to our hearts is the missionaries, because we really realize that they very often feel just very alone, isolated and unsupported. And so we are thrilled that these videos have enabled us to support those people that we could otherwise never ever be able to reach. So that's one thing that's been changing, is actually just keeping up with that and finding ways to keep bringing that support more and more effectively. And with that causes development. We obviously have to invest in equipment to keep up to date. And we here in South Africa have tremendous limitations when it comes to internet. We hope that's going to change as the years progress. But we've had to adapt to the limitations we have with internet in the hopes that it will catch up with the rest of the world. But in the meantime, we're thankful for YouTube, we're thankful for the internet, we're thankful for Google, that we can actually have a website where we can put these videos. And while we are busy making the videos, on the other side, we've got our son-in-law, Bruce, who's busy working on the website all the time to find better ways to improve being able to deliver these videos to you, and the resources and the online store. And he's even developed an app this year, which he's tweaking and working with all the time. So people, you can use that if they don't have access to computers. They've got their smartphones, and they can use their smartphones to download the Oikos app so that they can actually watch the videos and see what's on the store and whatever specials we might have. So these goings on is what has actually kept me from being in the studio and being able to just sit and chat to you like I'm doing today, with a cup of tea, of course. We have to have a cup of tea. So to continue to support you as best as we can, it would really be helpful if we get feedback from you, for you to tell us if you've downloaded the app and it's working really well, or you're finding some little glitches with it which you're finding not working so well. We need to know that, because everybody's going to have a different experience, and we would love to hear what your experience is so that we can then improve and serve you even better. So one of the purposes for me chatting to you today is to ask for you to please chat to us. We would love that, so that we can actually help you better, just be more supportive than what we currently are. Another change that I must share with you is, well, I don't actually need to share this with the South Africans. We all know what we've been going through in our country with the political changes. But those have had quite a dramatic effect on us, because it's changed various things that used to just go smoothly. For example, shipping and courier. Things that we used to just ship in things as we needed them, or place our order, consolidate it, bring it in. But that's not so simple and straightforward anymore. We're having all kinds of hold-ups. In fact, our last shipment that we ordered, only a third of it arrived, and the others is missing in action. We have absolutely no idea where it is and when it's going to arrive. And when I let those in America know that it still hasn't arrived, they're actually quite appalled and amazed, because they think, well, how's that possible? You should have had it 5 weeks ago. So they just can't hardly believe that we're still sitting waiting for resources that we ordered so long ago. Another thing is, we actually have to pay for them when we order them. We don't place an order and then only once it's arrived we can check it, see what it is, and then pay for it. We actually pay for it before it even leaves America. So there's been a lot of difficulties in that regard. And those are the difficulties that I mentioned that we haven't wanted to trouble you with and say, well, we can't help you because of this and this and this. What we've tried to do all the way along is just to keep helping you and keep overcoming these difficulties, rather than jumping into the studio and sitting here in front of the camera and saying to you, well, this has gone wrong and that has gone wrong. What we've rather done is we haven't gone into the studio to tell you all the things that have gone wrong. We've just tried to fix them. And while we've been fixing them, we've been asking Han. Well, Han's been coming up, a couple of times a month from where he lives, an hour and a half away, and he comes here to the studio and he's been doing the product clips for the games while we've been trying to sort out all these other difficulties that we've been having. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each difficulty one at a time and let you know about them now, and let you know how we have overcome some of them and how we are in the process of attempting to overcome the others. One of the difficulties has been paper. Now, I'm sure you understand immediately that your books are all printed on paper, and you need paper. We need paper, you need paper for home education. At this moment, I suppose one day we're going to have a paperless generation. But right now we need paper, and we're pleased about that because it's good for the children to sit down and work in their workbooks. Paper was a difficulty at the beginning of the year. There was a shortage. We couldn't get supply. The price went up. So we had to do a lot of jumping through many hoops to keep that supply coming. And we had a lot of difficulties with actually just sourcing and getting the paper onto the floor, which in the past just used to be a straightforward procedure. So that was one of the difficulties. We have overcome it. We now have got a good stock of paper, and we expect the paper to continue to be stocked well. And of course, we are continuing to research that to make sure that we can keep having the paper coming and being delivered and being on the floor and being ready there for us to print. Right, now we've got the paper, but now we need to print on it. And we haven't told all of you the tragic tale that I'm about to tell you, because as I said, we felt that first we needed to overcome and not trouble you with the difficulties. We don't want you to panic and wonder if Oikos is going to be able to continue to serve you, because here I am telling you, we have been serving you and we plan to continue serving you. But one of the tragic tales, that one of our very, very colossal difficulties was that we were struck by lightning. And that meant all of our equipment was struck by lightning. And so we were in a very, very dire place of not being able to print anything. We didn't have any printers, any production printers. So it's taken us some time to recover from that. We decided to continue, even though in every sense it looked like we should just close the doors and say, well, that's the end of that now. We didn't feel that that was what God was telling us to do. In fact, it was confirmed by our own parents, the grandparents, to say, no, don't stop. You just press on. You keep doing what it is that God has called us to do. And so I'm very, very glad that we had them to support and encourage us to persevere. And the good news, although it's a tragic tale, the good news is that we have replaced all those printers, and we have continued to print. And we plan to just press on and keep printing for you. So there's a happy end to that tragic tale, and that we have continued to print. It has taken an enormous amount of settling in and reformatting and learning the new equipment and training and overcoming one obstacle after another. But fortunately, we did Kronos living for many years, where we spent a lot of time practicing various character traits and trying to train them and instill them, because I can tell you, we needed a lot of perseverance and endurance to press through the difficulties that we've been through. But something we discovered is that when you're going through these long valleys, they're not just a short little valley and you're up on the top of the mountain again. It seemed like a very long valley, which meant we spent a lot of time down there in the valley. And the thing that came to me there is that, when the river runs dry and you feel like this is the end, you can't actually continue, that's when you actually found the gold nuggets. That's where we found the treasure and the gems and the things of great, great value, which we really, really know we would not have found had we not been down in the valley, walking through the dry riverbeds to get through to the other side. And of course, it makes the other side all that much more beautiful because you work so hard to get there. So it really, really has been a worthwhile journey, as difficult as it's been worthwhile. Especially that it's you, the families, that kept us going, knowing that we did not want to stop serving you and helping you on this journey that is so, so worthwhile. And so you were the reason, actually, that we kept pressing on and on and on. Obviously, God encouraged us to and told us to, But the reason for us to continue was so that we can carry on serving you. So that was one of the tragedies. It was the paper problems followed by being struck by lightning and having printer problems. I do want to focus, though, on a thanksgiving that we have through this valley experience, and that was that we've had good health. And I'm just very, very grateful that we have had the health to be able to carry us and for us to endure through this journey of traveling through this valley, because had we not had the health and the strength, I do wonder how we would have pulled through. So I'm just very, very thankful that we've had good health and we've been able to press on. And it's just an important aspect of these difficult times that I think I just would like to reflect on a little bit, and just to say that, please, I want to encourage you to see to it that you are living a healthy lifestyle, especially how you feeding your children, what you're putting into their bodies and into their systems, and into yourselves, and as parents, and the time that you're spending in fun and rest and play and just good balances all around, because it really helps you pull through in times of difficulty. So that was one thing I just kept on thanking the Lord for. That was the fact that we had health and we were able to endure and persevere in the trials and difficulties that we've been through, to enable Oikos just to keep pressing on. As I've said that I would share with you the difficulties that we've endured, another difficulty has been the comings and goings of people. That is life. People come and go. But of course, I'm sure you're aware that we need to then adapt when people come and go. If somebody has been trained in a certain field and then they leave, then you have to retrain somebody else. And we've had that happening, so that has also set us back a little bit in some instances. But again, we've all grown and realized the value of adaptation and learning to accept things as they happen. We've also had some of the Oikos team members that serve here in Oikos. They've had their own personal tragedies to deal with, which obviously again affects everybody. And so it has been a time of really having to pull together and just persevere and press on and keep going. And so here I am, I'm sitting here in the studio again, and I'm able to sit and tell you about this and let you know that this is good news, because we are all here to tell you the story and to continue in this work that God has called us to. Even with all the adaptation and the changes and the difficulties, we have pressed on and we are able to continue to serve you. So thank you for watching this, and I'm glad that I could be back here to talk to all of you, and I hope to do another video very soon to tell you the next story. Thank you for having some tea with me and for sitting here with me on my veranda for this short little time that we've had together, and I just hope that I will be able to be bringing more soon. So for now, bye.